everybody, Lord Tremendous here. Got another battle report here for you. 2,500 point battle. Battle report number 196. Lord Tremendous of the Undead Legion versus Lust's Fury of the Legions of Chaos. And yes, it's a good game. It's the same opponent, just on a different day. It's just the way it all worked out. And I'm not going to apologize because I like Warhammer. And I will play Warhammer at my leisure. Or desire, or one word, whatever it is, makes me sound awesome and sexy at the same time, so deal with it. But this is another good game. It's Legion of Chaos versus Undead Legion. It's going to be brutal, it's going to be violent, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So sit back, relax, and get ready to have some.
Assemble the army!
Here's my list, and there's been a little bit of tweaking, not a ton, but a little bit, so, get ready to see some small changes. I still have my Tomb King, and I think I'm really in love with the Tomb King. The idea, my will be done, the curse, the look, the model. I like this guy. I don't think he's going anywhere. I toyed with doing a Vampire Blender Lord, I really did. I toyed with taking my level 4 and my Tomb King and turning him into a Vampire Blendy Lord and all that stuff, but then I thought, what if he dies? Like miscast or killing blow or any random amount of stuff that could possibly happen. What do I do then? My combat character's dead. My caster is dead. I don't have the points to have multiples the way I want to run my army. And I really like having them split up. So if one dies, I haven't lost everything. I've lost a chunk, but I haven't lost everything. So I've decided to stick with the Tomb King, and I have no complaints about that because he really brings a lot to the army that I believe I need. Or at least for the way I play anyway. Whether or not you agree, by all means, put it in the comment section. Maybe we could come to some sort of agreement. Maybe you can change my mind, and maybe I can change yours. Anyway, right now in this particular battle, I played with my Tomb King, Lord Tremendous. He's got a shield, the Sword of Anti-Heroes, Armor of Destiny, Dragonbane Gem, and other Trickster Shard. It's just the best kit that I can come up with the way I run him, and I like it. Next up, I have my Lich High Priest, Queen Elizabeth. She's a level 4 wizard with the Staff of Sorcery, Talisman of Protection, and the Lore and the Hekhara. My hero choices are a Vampire, Dark Vincent. He's a level 2 wizard with a great weapon, Armor, Silvered Steel, Luckstone, Red Fury, and the Lore of Undeath. I got rid of the BSB because it's not helping me. I mean, yeah, it takes care of a couple of things, but honestly, if I'm losing combat by a truckload or by such a negligible amount that even by losing by one less losing one less to crumble isn't really a big deal at all. So, but what I did like is having the great weapon toting 2-up, rerolling 1 failed armor save Vampire with Strength 7 with Red Fury, because potentially he can do 8 Strength 7 wounds. With Hatred in the first round of combat because of the Necrotech and all that other good stuff. He's a force to be reckoned with, and I made him a level 2 Lore of Undeath simply because he's in prime position to summon new units onto the table, which I really love doing, and I was going to have 3 casters anyway. I made him the level 2. Maybe that was a mistake, but I like the idea. And then I have my Necromancer, Sinister Jeffrey. He's a level 1 wizard with a Dispel Scroll, and he uses the Lore Vampires. I'm starting to really enjoy the idea of Invocation and a Heck. I like how many, stuff comes back as opposed to D3 plus 1. Now it's D6 plus 1. So I've more or less doubled the potential, I guess. And he's just a scroll caddy. I want a scroll in my army, and I couldn't fit it on the Vampire the way I wanted to kit him out, and I couldn't fit it on the level 4 because I like the Staff of Sorcery. Having +5 to Dispel is just something I'm kind of used to. So, yeah, I have a level 1 Necromancer, and he's a scroll caddy that raises skeletons and stuff. That's his job. And then, of course, I have my Necrotech, the Architect. He's got the Obsidian Trinket and the Iron Curse icon. And I gave him the Obsidian Trinket because I like the idea of having MR2 and the Iron Curse icon because it's better to have a 6-up as opposed to a no-up. My core choices consist of 5 Skeleton Horse Archers with a banner, 57 Skeleton Warriors, the Fateless, with full command light armor shields, 12 Skeleton Archers, the Queen's Guard, with full command light armor, 3 Chariots, Rollin' Bones, with Musician, Banner, and the Banner of Eternal Flame. My special choices are 3 Medusa Stalkers, those that gaze, 3 Vargheists, a Chimerian War Sphinx with Fiery Roar, And my rare choices are my Hyro Titan Nada Protector and my Casket of Souls. My opponent's list is as follows. He still has his Keeper of Secrets, who's a level 4 wizard with Soul Eater and a Sword of Swift Slaying. His hero is a Wargore. I'm going to be honest. There's a 2,000 point tournament coming up at my local store, and I don't like playing at 2,000 points because I'm trying to gear up for the Carnival of Chaos, which is 2,500 points. So I just plan, I mean, of course I'm going to play in the local tournament because I love my store and I love playing Warhammer, and, you know, I can deal with 2,000 points. But I just figured I wanted to come up with a list that I like at 2,500, and then I'll just subtract 500 points from it, and that'll be my list when I play at the local store. But my opponent here, he only had a 2,000 point list, so he threw together 500 extra points into this list, and he put a Wargore in there, and I have no idea what gear he had. He had it written down. I never got a picture of it, so yeah. He didn't have a hero at 2,000 points. He added one in order to make up to 500. He also added a Soul Grinder, but I'll get to that in a minute. His core choices are a unit of 20 Gores with Mark Korn and full command. I believe they had great weapons. He also had 10 Ungor Raiders with Mark Slanesh and full command, and I believe those are the, what's it called? The ones that pop, the ambushers. Ambushers, haha, big words. And yeah, those guys were going to be ambushing, which is fun. And then he had a unit of 20 Chaos Warriors with Mark Korn, full command, and the Banner of Swiftness. And I believe they had Halbrids, which makes them quite dangerous, because that's a lot of Strength 5 attacks. His special choice was a unit of 3 Minotaurs with Mark Korn, great weapons, and full command, and a unit of 10 Bestigors with Mark Korn, full command, and the Lichbone pendant. His rare choices were a unit Skull Cannon, a Soul Grinder with the Mark of Korn, and a Burning Chariot. Here are my spells, which are exactly what you're looking at. And here are my opponent's spells, which is exactly what you're looking at. Here's deployment, and for the most part, I kind of castled. I held to the right side of the table, trying to cause that traffic jam. He had that forest that was going to kind of, you know, the chariot couldn't go through it, and, you know, all the other stuff. So I was like, screw it, that'll work. I had my chariots because, you know, because that's a little water terrain feature right there, a little pond. I know I was going to take dangerous terrains for going through it, but I figured my opponent knew that too, so I'd leave the chariots there and hope that something got close enough for them to charge it. He put the Soul Grinder over there. I kind of expected it way over on the flank there, but whatever, I can deal with that. Other than that, my Skeleton Warrior brick was sitting there daring anything to come at it because I was pretty sure I had that. The Archer unit is in the back just, you know, to protect the casters. Titan's there to just do his Titan thing. Vargeist ended up on the right flank with the Scouts way up front there to kind of pull the Minotaurs and the Burning Chariot. I figured if they charge, it'd be fine. They'll be over in the side. And with a little luck, the Vargeist could countercharge and hopefully take them out. Other than that, my Casket is over there, and yeah, I'm just daring him to come at me. Here's my opponent's right flank, which consists of his Soul Grinder and his unit of Bestigors, I believe, the little 10-man brick. And here's his center, which consists of his Keeper, his Corn Warriors, and his Gores, his I don't know what the hell they are. But it's some sort of Beastman unit, and they're standing right there in the forest, daring me. And here's his left flank, which consists of his Skull Cannon, his Burning Chariot, and his 3 Minotaurs. Here's my right flank, which consists of my Scouts, and my Vargeists, and my Casket. And here's my center, which consists of my Titan, my Archers with both my Casters installed, my Skeleton Warriors with Vampire, Necrotech, and Tomb King installed, my Kitty, and my Chariots. Here's top 1 after movement, and I didn't go first. I never go first, but that's okay. He came forward, which really isn't a surprise at all. Not probably as far as he could, but he came forward a decent amount, and I can deal with that. Nothing really special. Things move forward, and that's really it. During his magic phase, he got Pan's Impenetrable Pelt off on his Keeper, and that was fine. I had no intention of getting him in combat. I didn't try to stop it or anything like that. It was just one of those things where it was like, oh, okay, you got it, because the only thing I'm going to throw at him is the Casket, and the Casket could care less about your toughness. So it went off, and now he's like toughness 10. So yeah, I really wasn't going to do anything to him, you know, wound-wise. And then he got Phantasmagoria off of my Skeleton Warriors. He wanted to try this trick where he gets, like, Phantasmagoria off on him and then does something with, I don't know, Pavane Slanesh or whatever. he wanted to mess with my leadership. I let him get this one off so I could throw all my dice at the next spell, and that's what I did, and I stopped it. So yeah, I just kind of let this one go off, and then he tried another spell, and we had talked about it before the game. It's like, I'm never gonna let you get that off, and I didn't. Then we go over here into shooting, and his skull cannon does me a solid and misfires 4. I thought that was very nice of him. Although I don't need his charity. I don't respect that at all. I don't want it. No, it was funny. He misfired 4. He was shooting at my Titan, and that's what you get. That's what you get. Then over here, his Burning Chariot takes a pot shot at my scouts and kills 3 of them, which I'm actually surprised he didn't kill all 5. So the fact that there's 2 left means they're still going to be irritating, and that was their entire purpose. So we go over here to bottom of 1 after movement because there's really nothing else to talk about or do. And my Varguys fail a frenzy check and have to charge the Burning Chariot. It's the closest enemy unit. And wouldn't you know it, those crazy bastards made it. So I was like, well, okay, that could have been really bad. But no, they were like, motherland! And went for it. And they made it. Crazy bastards. What can you do? Other than that, my chariots, I figured to hell with it. The raiders were within range, or whatever they are. The Bestigor within range. There's only 10 of them, and I figured impact hits alone, I should be able to deal with them. I charged, made it, and passed my dangerous terrain check. So, am I awesome or what? Other than that, the rest of my army just kind of held back. I sent out the Varguys by mistake, and that just kind of worked out for me. I sent out the chariots on purpose, and I'm hoping that's going to work out for me. And yeah, the plan is hit the Bestigor guys, overrun, and be out of the charge arc of both the Corn Warriors and the what's it called, the Soul Grinder. Hopefully one of the units make the mistake of turning to face me, and then maybe my chariots can just harass the Keeper for a little while until the Stalkers come up and Care Bear stare it, hopefully off the table. But yeah, that was really about it. I didn't move anything else. There's a better picture of the Varguys going BSC and tearing into the Burning Chariot, and I'm feeling pretty good about that. And there's a better picture of my chariot slamming into the 10-man brick of Bestigors or whatever they are, and I'm just hoping that impact hits take them out. And I'm sorry, I lied. I did fail a dangerous terrain check, but I only took 1 wound, so that's not so bad. During the magic phase, I just try to cast a couple of small things just to kind of pull out his dispel dice, and then I throw all but like 2 of my dice at the casket. It doesn't go off irresistible, but he doesn't have anything left, so it goes off on his Keeper, and he rolls like 17, something insane, and his Keeper explodes. It was so glorious. I mean, I know it's a dick move and everything like that, but the Keeper and me don't see eye to eye. Ever since Demonic Orchid introduced him into my life, and Lust Fury here started bringing him and stuff like that. Yeah, me and Keepers aren't friends, and so anytime a Keeper dies, Tomb King gets his animation or something like that, and it's glorious. It's truly glorious. And not only that, but it bounced, and it hit the little raiders and killed like 4 of them, and then it did 3 wounds to the skull cannon before finally petering out, and I'm totally okay with that. It actually bounced to the Minotaurs and some other stuff, but he rolled low on the rest of those things, so it worked out. But yeah, the casket exploded on the Chaos Legions, and you know what? If there was any more perfect of a unit than a casket, I don't know what it is. I'm just so pleased right now. And then with the last 2 dice, just because I could, I summoned a unit of Spirit Hosts, and I just threw them out there in front of the Corn Warriors because, if nothing else, it gums them up. In combat over here, I flub a little bit on my impact hits. I won't lie to you. Not terrific at all. I ended up doing a decent amount of damage. They counterattacked and only did 2 wounds back to me, so he flubbed back. There wasn't too much left, but I couldn't do 10 wounds with 3d6 strength 4 impact hits. That kind of ate at my soul a little bit, but whatever. He killed one of my chariots, and I killed a handful more of his stuff, and then I ran them down. I overran, I think it was about 8 inches, 8, 9 inches, which was excellent, because as you can see, it puts me out of his charge arc on both units. They're exactly where I want them. That's awesome. Very pleased, and there's no keeper to run over and quire my chariots to death, so they actually might survive this fight. Very pleased. Over here, not so good. Not so good. The Far guys, they showed a lot of hustle by making this insane charge, and I'm proud of them. But I only got 1 wound through, because again, Lust Fury can really make some ward saves. I don't mind telling you. But it wasn't so much his ward saves, although he did make a bunch, don't get me wrong. It was just kind of wish I had hit more and done more wounds and forced my opponent to roll more dice. But he made a lot of his ward saves, and then he beat the crap out of one of my Vargeist. So I did like charge and a wound to his like 3 wounds. It wasn't good. I ended up losing 2 of my Vargeists after combat res and everything. I'm not exactly sure what the math was, but yeah, his Burning Chariot has 1 wound on it. I have 1 Vargeist left, and it's not and they lost Frenzy, so it's not looking good for the home team at all here. But I guess the Chariot is being held up. It is kind of slowing down the Minotaur, so I do have a bit of a traffic jam situation here, so I feel pretty good about that. And the Vargeist did fail a frenzy check, and they were forced to make this charge, and they made it. So I guess there is some good that came from this, but I really would have preferred them to do a lot better against this thing. So I guess you got to take the good with the bad, but I'm still a whiner, so I'm gonna whine. After all the crying, we go over here to top of 2 after movement, and there's not a ton. Corn Warriors pass a frenzy check, so don't have to charge a Spirit Host. The Soul Grinder moves around, so he can shoot at whatever the hell he's going to shoot at. The little Gore guys, they come up a little bit. The cannon stays right where it's at. The Minotaurs kind of shimmy a little bit, but they're pretty much stuck in that corner. And everything else he has is dead or in combat. No, I apologize. His ambushers come on to the right side of the table over near my casket. There's a better picture of his ambushers coming onto the table, and they come over on my side there and looking at my casket, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Nothing happens in his magic phase, so we go into shooting, and the little ambusher bastards fire away at my Titan, and actually slip a wound through. Nothing I could do about that. His cannon couldn't fire this turn, but his ambushers were able to, and they did a little wound to my Titan. So, yeah, gonna have to have some words with them in a minute. Then over here, his Soul Grinder fires a little catapult shot on the kitty and direct hits, and that sucks. And the poor kitty takes 3 wounds for his trouble there, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But he didn't kill the kitty, so I can heal him at least. Then over here, the Vargeist takes a wound. I do a wound to the Chariot. It's 1-1, so we're tied. He's holding them up. He's holding them up. And you know what? Okay. I'm all right with that. Go Vargeists. So we go over here to bottom of 2 after movement. And I don't really bother to move. I don't see the purpose. Yeah, there just isn't really a reason to go anywhere. My Stalkers come on the table and get behind the Soul Grinder because, I need 6s, but the hell with that thing. I forget to move my Chariots. I'm sorry. I would love to say that there was a reason that my Chariots are still facing the wrong effing direction, but I just screwed up. I completely forgot to move them, and it wasn't until the shooting phase that I realized it, so chalk that one up to tremendous stupidity, because I certainly did. My opponent was laughing too. He was like, yes, you forgot! I was like, it's the shooting phase, and I had completely, that's when I looked over. Oh yeah, I should have moved them. That's my fault. So, it is what it is. What can you do? Other than that, though, my Skeleton Warriors came up slightly just to dare the Corn Warriors to charge the Spirit Host and the Gores to come closer, because I would love to get a hold of them right now. Titan moved up slightly, and my Skeleton Archers, they did a swift reform to turn and face the ambushers so that I could shoot at them, because, I didn't know if he was going to move or not, but I wanted to be ready to shoot him up as much as I could. Other than that, my Scouts, they moved just a little bit, but they were perfectly fine where they were at. My plan here was, if my Vargeist was able to kill the Burning Chariot, the Minotaurs countercharge into the, into the Vargeist. If he overruns into the Scouts, so be it. Then he overruns off the table, hopefully. If not, Scouts can block the Minotaurs and just chaff them up. I'll happily sacrifice my Scouts for that. I don't really care. Other than that, everything you're looking at is the way it is. During the magic phase, I got the dangerous terrain, the incantation of vengeance or whatever, off on this Corn Warriors. Basically, he's at -1 movement, and if he moves for any reason at all, every model in the unit takes a dangerous terrain check. So basically, I was hoping he was going to fail his frenzy check, charge the Spirit Host, kill the Spirit Host with combat res. That's fine, but hopefully at least 3 or 4 of them die to combat res, and that would be awesome. Then I'm able to get a 5-up board save off on the kitty alone and heal a wound off of him. So, you know, the healing is beginning for the kitty. And that's good because I'm going to need him in a minute. And in the shooting phase, I fire my archers into these raiders and I kill like 3 or 4 of them. It's a hell of a shot. I mean, the archers are really on point, especially needing 5s to hit. It's spectacular. They're marked Slanesh, so they could care less, but there's a lot less of them now, and I feel good about that. And then over here, Stalkers, they do like 20 hits, but I'm having trouble rolling 6s. And in the end, after reward saves and everything, only 1 got through. Really wasn't thrilled about that. But 1 got through, and I guess that's better than nothing. And then right here, it is what it is. The Vargeist killed off the Burning Chariot, which is awesome. Don't get me wrong, I'm very pleased about that. But the Minotaurs are looking right at him, and so yeah, my Vargeist is a corpse. He just doesn't realize it yet. But he got the Chariot at least, so good on him. So we go here to top of 3 after movement, and yeah, the Minotaurs eat Vargeist, because why wouldn't they? The Soul Grinder charges into the Spirit Host, and that's fine. His Corn Warriors do pass their Frenzy check, so it is what it is. And other than that, everything else you see, I mean, his Corn Warriors don't move because of the spell. The Gores move slightly. The Chariot doesn't go anywhere. And the Ambushers, I don't know if he forgot to charge with them or if he never wanted to, but they don't move at all. And yeah, that is what it is. Here's a better picture of his Minotaur slamming into my Vargeist, and I already feel bad for the Vargeist. It's going to be brutal. And here's a better picture of his Soul Grinder slamming into the Spirit Host, and, oh well. Nothing happens in magic or shooting, so we go straight into combat, and the Minotaurs destroy the Vargeist. In fact, the Vargeist flubs all of his attacks. I rolled 2 2s and a 1 to hit, so it is what it is. And yeah, they decimate him, overrun D6 inches, go forward like 3, and my scouts are like, okay, our turn next, I guess. Then over here, the Soul Grinder, I flub my, what's it called? My thing. Oh, what the hell is it called? My initiative check, that claw thing or whatever. I fail my initiative check, so my opponent does the strength 10 d6 wounds thing or whatever. It does 1 wound. So yeah, no, I'm sorry, he doesn't do any wounds. He fails to wound. I apologize, that's a total lie. But of course my Spirit Hosts aren't able to do anything to the Soul Grinder, so charge to nothing. He wins by 1. My Spirit Hosts take a wound, and yeah, really like free Spirit Hosts. That's why I keep the Lore of Undeath, ladies and gentlemen, for stuff like that. With all the fun said and done, we go over to bottom of 3 after movement, and the Skeleton Warriors are finally tired of waiting and slam into the Soul Grinder, because the hell with it. I remember to move my Chariots, which is outstanding, and my Scouts, I decide I don't really want them to get hit up by the Minotaurs, so they just kind of dive over to the side, and they're going to pew-pew at them for fun. The Titan and the Kitty move over just because I'm pretty sure my Skeleton Warriors, my Vampire, my Tomb King, everything like that can deal with the Soul Grinder, and everything else is deader in combat. There's a better picture of my Horde O Skeleton Warriors slamming into the Soul Grinder, and I'm hoping to be able to kill it at minimum with combat res, because, you know, demons just crumble now. And during the magic phase, I'm able to get bubble ward save off, and everybody gets a ward save. The Titan is full health now. The Kitty's only got 1 wound on him. Skeleton Warriors have 5-up ward. Spirit Host was out of range, but that's okay. And so, yeah, feeling pretty good about that one. Shields are up. And during the shooting phase, I think I take 1 more of these little bastards out, which is fine. 1 less to worry about. In combat over here, it's the best parts of the Bible. We rip this thing to pieces, and I feel awesome about that. My Spirit Host reforms slightly because now his Corn Warriors can't charge into my Skeleton Warriors because they'll hit the Spirit Host. And my Skeleton Warriors are set up beautifully to countercharge the Corn Warriors in the flank, which I feel really good about because they're going to hit the Spirit Host if they charge. Have to overrun because they're Frenzy. Stop with the flank, expose to my Skeleton Warriors. My Skeleton Warriors will charge into them and hopefully be able to break them in combat and run them down. And that'll be the end of the Corn Warriors, which is good because they're actually a huge effing threat. So we go here to top of 4 after movement, and there's a bunch. The Minotaurs come running down the right flank because they're ready to start killing more stuff. His Corn Warriors do fail their Frenzy check and charge into the front of the Spirit Host, and I'm fine with that. His Gores, or whatever they are, they actually charge into my Skeleton Warriors, which I didn't see coming, and make it. So it is what it is there. And his cannon just kind of stays there and does cannon-y things. What can you do? There's a better picture of his Corn Warriors slamming into my Spirit Host and his Gores slamming into my Skeleton Warriors, and that's fine. During his magic phase, he's able to get Savage, Beast of Horos off, and Wizen's Wild Form on his Gores. I did try to stop both these spells and rolled like monkey poop. So yeah, that was all bad. And also, during his magic phase, he rolled Boxcars for the Reign of Chaos chart and brought 10 Slaanesh Demonettes onto the table because, yeah, let's hear it for that POS chart. During his shooting phase, the Raiders shoot at my archers and take a couple out, which was pretty good shooting on their part. And his cannon puts a shot off onto my casket. Wounds! I fail my ward save, but he only does 1 wound, so really dodged a bullet there. Really happy about that. In combat over here, the Corn Warriors aren't able to do anything to my Spirit Host. However, my Spirit Host is able to kill... Ooh, gosh, was it 2? 1 or 2? 1. 1 Corn Warrior, so that was actually a lot more than I expected. But with combat res and everything, yeah, he never had a chance. It was charge, 2 ranks, and a banner to wound. I lost by 3, and he exploded, which is fine. They overran, stopped an inch away from the Gores, and now their flank is exposed. Now all I gotta do is deal with these Gores, which I was hoping. We go into combat over here, and it's the best parts of the Bible. My unit champion accepts his challenge from whatever the hell it was that challenged, which was fine. My Skeleton Warriors hit and wounded like a freight train with a truck on it, covered in C4. It was beautiful. Even my Necrotech got a couple of wounds through, and then the Vampire. Not only did he weather like 4 or 5 wounds without taking any because he has a 2-up armor save, and he has a ward save now because of the spell, and he had the Luck Stone, which I used and it helped. But he did like 7 wounds to the unit at strength 7. It was glorious. That unit was down to like 2 characters and a Gore or something like that. It was ridiculous, and he needed Snake Eyes to rally. He failed to rally, or he failed to make his break check. He fled like 4 inches. I overran 9. Not only did I get the Gores and the characters, but I also slammed into the flank of the Corn Warrior unit. Don't you love it when plans come together? So yeah, this is going really well here, and I'm pretty happy. Pretty happy. So, with all the fun said and done, we go over here to bottom of 4 after movement, and as you can see, I just say, you know, Teen Titans go. Not that new crap, the old one. And my chariots slam into the rear of the Corn Warriors, and yeah, that's just because they were there. The Stalkers turn to face the cannon just so that it can't take them all out if it decides to shoot at them. You know, I don't like the domino effect. And my archers, I moved them forward 4 inches, and then I moved the kitty over 6 inches because he was actually outside of 12 of the general, so I couldn't march him. But really, I'm just trying to block the seeker or the demonettes. I'm sorry. I didn't want them to slam into the rear of my archers. I prefer them going into the kitty because the kitty will eat them alive. And so, yeah, I just moved the kitty over in front of him and was like, I effing dare you. Meanwhile, the Titan just kind of stands there in front of the cannon. I know it's a beautiful shot if he can take out the Titan and just rape through my my archers, but it's the best I got, and I'm hoping that the casket goes off and deals with the cannon for me. So, it's all I got. It's all I got. There's a better picture of my chariots joining the fight, and I'm really happy that they survived long enough to get into this, because those impact hits should help. During the magic phase, on a whim, I throw 2 dice at Shem's Burning Gaze at his cannon. The idea was to just pull out Dispel dice. It goes off, And it's a beautiful thing because it blows up the cannon, and that's awesome. Then over here, just because I had some dice left over, I do Incantation of Desiccation on the Corn Warriors, and I'm able to get them at -1 Strength, -1 Toughness. It's just a little one, but, you know, Strength 4, Toughness 3 Corn Warriors, especially when I got 2d6 Strength 4 Flaming Impact hits slamming into them, is huge. So I'm very pleased about that. And then during the shooting phase, I put some shots into the, what's it called? The Minotaurs, and yeah, they take like a wound. I think it's the scouts that do it, so that was cool. And then over here, the archers take a bunch of shots at the raiders, and I kill all but one. The Unichampion is sitting there, just waving his bow at me, but he's Slanesh, so he's got no fear. But at least there's only one left. I'm hoping one last run or one last turn of combat, and I should be able, or shooting anyway, and I should be able to take him out. Combat over here is exactly as brutal as you would have expected. The Corn Warriors get obliterated. They do a little bit of damage. They put a wound on my vampire. They do 3 wounds to the skeletons. I think they do a wound to the chariots. But in the end, I kill so many of them. I think there's like 2 left, 2 or 3 left, and they need Snake Eyes to rally, or to not break. And they break, and they get run down. Everybody pursues, and it's glorious. I kill them all, and I'm very pleased with myself. So pat on the back for Lord Tremendous. With the fun said and done, we go over here to top of 5 after movement, and my opponent doesn't have a whole lot left. He moves forward with the Minotaurs. He moves a little bit with the Raider, and his Slanesh Demonette guys run into the flank of the kitty, because why not? There's a better picture of his Demonette slamming into the kitty, and, you know, that's what he was there for. Nothing happens in magic or shooting, so we go into combat, and sure enough, the War Kitty doesn't even take any damage. With Flaming Breath, his attacks, and Thunderstomp, every single Demonette dies, and that's the only good Demonette there is, a dead one. So we go over here to bottom of 5 after movement, and everybody just kind of collapses down on where the Minotaurs and one remaining Raider is, because I've got to kill him. During the magic phase, the casket speaks and kills off 2 of the Minotaurs, but he's not within 6 inches of the Raider, so I can't bounce it to him. But 2 of the Minotaurs are dead because of the casket. Casket is the definite MVP of this game. And then, just because I'm a bastard, I fire every shot I have at the remaining Minotaur, and I get 2 wounds off on him. So, I'm bad, people. So we go here to top of 6 after movement, and the Minotaur and the one remaining Raider double charge my casket, and both of them make it, which is, bummer. But, you know what? Casket did really well. If they kill it, you know, I can't blame my opponent for wanting to kill it. It's the same reason I want to kill his keeper every time I see it. So, I don't, you know, fault him for this. There's a better picture of his Minotaur and his Raider making their charge into my casket, and that's a shame. During his magic phase, although nothing has the ability to cast, he still gets to roll the power dice, and he still gets to consult the Reign of Chaos chart, and he still killed my scouts with the stupid Reign of Chaos chart. I hate that stupid chart. He got the scouts using something that shouldn't be allowed in a stupid game. I'm sorry. But, whatever, I'm just bitching. So we go into combat, and I'm able to kill the Raider. I get some attacks back. I think I get like 1 guy back. I put it all into the Raider. I'm able to kill the Raider, so that's good. There's that unit. But with charge and 2 wounds to wound, they blow up my casket, and the casket explodes. Yeah, it's when the casket explodes that I realize, why in the F did I bring so many things so close to the 12-inch range of the explosion that I knew was coming. It's because sometimes I like to sit on my shoulders while I play this game. So in the end, believe it or not, the Minotaur, perfectly fine. Didn't take any damage. The Titan takes 3 wounds. The Kitty takes a wound. No, I'm sorry, the Kitty was fine. Kitty didn't take any wounds. And I lose 1 archer. That could have been a lot worse. Luckily for me, nothing died, but oh wow, was that stupid. So we go over here to the bottom of 6, and the Kitty, in true Kitty fashion, takes the reins and charges the Minotaur in the flank, because Kitty is all that is awesome. There's a better picture of the Kitty slamming into the flank of the Minotaur, and that's just out of spite. I don't do anything in magic or shooting because there's no point. We go into combat, and with the 9 attacks that I have, I'm able to slip one through and kill the Minotaur because they had great weapons. They weren't going to do anything. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. There's the end of the game, and as you can see, I have tabled my opponent, and I'm actually quite happy about that. This is a good opponent. I have no complaints about him or anything like that, and it's been a while since I've been able to table anybody, so I feel pretty good about that. But you know what? We'll get to the recap in just a moment, because this game is over.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Hey guys, you know these tokens, you've seen them 100 times, and you know what? Every time you see them, if you haven't bought them yet, you're just wasting time. Get these tokens. All of the lores of whatever spell you're casting, all the wound counters. You see me use them in every single game, and you've never heard me since I've been using the counters going, I can't remember how many wounds I had, or what spell was on this guy, or whatever. And they're flawless. They're awesome. You're the envy of everyone you play against. Send Token Gal an email. Get these tokens. They're dirt cheap, but they're solid gold quality, guys. I'm telling you, you cannot go wrong. A lot of people have already ordered them, and nobody's returned any. Nobody's even asked to return any. All they do is they order more. Get yours. Get them soon. You're wasting time, and these are totally worth it. Tell her Tremendous sent you. Yeah, that's right. I don't know if you were paying attention or not, but we got a few new pictures. So not only does Unleashed Wargaming paint amazing models for commission and stuff like that, send him an email. He does excellent work, as you've seen from the pictures. Not only does he do all the different Magic lore cards for Warhammer Fantasy, I mean every lore. You want Storms of Magic? Send him an email. You want Lore of Fire? Send him an email. You want every lore that's ever been out in 8th edition? Send him an email. These things are solid. They're laminated. They're on cardstock. They're Photoshop made. They're amazing. And they're good. They're well priced, guys. I'm telling you. And now he's also doing 40K cards. The psychic stuff or whatever. I don't play 40K, but if you do, there's nothing wrong with that. But there is something wrong with it if you don't get these cards and if you don't have your models painted by them. Just throwing it out there. Just, you know, you may, if you feel guilty, that's because you know you're wrong. But send this guy an email, get your models looking good, get the cards that you need, get your real game going, and tell him Tremendous sent you. You're not going to regret it. So there it is, fellas. It was and fellettes. It was a victory for Lord Tremendous. I tabled my opponent in bottom of 6. I ended up losing my Vargeists, my Scouts, and my Casket. The Legions of Chaos lost everything. That's what tabled means. When everything goes wrong for your opponent, victory is pretty much assured, and that's pretty much what happened. I was able to kill his keeper, like, bottom of 1 with my Casket, which was glorious, and everything just didn't go his way. He was rolling so bad. Couldn't hit, couldn't wound, couldn't get anything to start going his way, and sometimes you gotta take that hard L. We've all been there. If you're watching this report, you know what I'm talking about. Still not a huge fan of the Reigns of Chaos chart. I really don't like that at all. The fact that he was able to kill my Scouts, even though he had no magic whatsoever on the table, just irritates the hell out of me. But yeah, like I said before, the Casket popping the keeper in turn 1 was the game winner. I mean, taking out his general and a greater demon right off the bat like that is unreal. Very, very happy with the Casket. Too bad it didn't survive, but I can't fault my opponent for wanting it dead so much, so totally get that one. As always, I really like seeing Beastmen models on the table. They didn't do great this game, but I don't believe that was the model's fault at all. I believe my opponent he couldn't roll average or better at all. I mean, he rolled so poorly during this game, so I really blame a lot of this on his dice. But all in all, it was a good game. Really good opponent, and I'm looking forward to the rematch. Well, there it is, guys and gals. Number 196 is now in the history books. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. But yeah, guys, thanks.